A power feature introduced with the Headless CMS is the notion of variance. A variant is a context that can change the value of one or more properties. For each variation of a variant, you can specify a new value for a property. To illustrate this idea, imagine an experience intended to support two languages. In this case, the variant name could be language, and it would have two variations, English and French. Before variance, if you added a text property into your data structure, you'd only be able to specify one value for its content. However, if you tag that text property with the language variant, then that property will have two variations, one instance for English text, another instance for French text. Let's implement this example in our existing base. In the HCMS web interface, go to Structure tab of VangoDB. In the Variants panel to the left, click the blue plus button to create a new variant. Pick a color for it to visually differentiate it from other variants. Give it the name language, then validate it by clicking the blue checkmark button on the right. Now let's add two variations. Click the Add a New Variation button. Name the first variation English, validate it, then create a second variation with the name French. Time to use that newly created variant. Staying on the Structure tab, select the General Information component over on the left, hover your mouse over the title property, and click the plus button to apply a variant to this property. Select the language variant and click the checkmark to validate. Note the warning message. If you apply a variant to a property that already has some content, that content will be erased. We recommend that you plan your variant use early while building your data structure before filling it with content. Click Yes, Confirm to validate. As you can see, the title property is now enhanced with the language variant, indicated by the little dot to the right of its name, using the color you specified earlier. You've just modified your data structure, so don't forget to publish all the changes. Click the bottom left button and then Publish All Changes Now. Let's add content to this property for each variation. Click the Content tab. As you can see, a few changes have occurred. Your title property is no longer filled with the value Van Gogh artwork as it was before. It has been erased because we added a language variant to it. Fill the title property again as you did before with the text Van Gogh artwork. This will be the English variation value for the property. Notice also the language variant drop-down list, currently set to the English variation. Switch the language variant drop-down list to French. Now you can add the French value for this title property. Fill it with Tableau de Van Gogh. Congratulations, you've just used the variant. Publish the content changes using the bottom left button as you've done before. Before we use this variant in Composer, let's spend a moment to wonder, are variants just another way to filter? Think of it this way. If you have a list of items whose members will change based on a user action, you probably need filtering. On the other hand, if the list of items will always have the same members, no matter what a user does, but the value of some properties of those members could change, then you probably need variant. Here are some examples that could benefit from the use of variants. A multilingual experience, as we've just shown, offering different sizes of prices for beverage or meal, providing different color options for a piece of clothing. In our Van Gogh experience, thinking about the artwork collection, you could imagine adding a variant named medium with the variation postcard or poster. You wouldn't need to vary the illustration property because the image wouldn't change, but you could apply a variant to the price, for example. Let's take advantage of this new variant in our experience. Start Composer and open the experience we built earlier. If you select the VangoDB HCMA space in the Interface Asset panel on the left, you will notice a new property has appeared in the Properties panel on the right. This is our language variant. By default, it's set to the first variation, which happens to be English. If you change it in the Properties panel and switch it to French, this variation will be immediately applied to the base, and thus the data both in Composer's edit mode and in play mode. Have a look at the X-ray panel for your HTML base and note that with each variant comes a very convenient action enabling you to switch between the variations. In this example, you can use the language variant in combination with a couple of toggle buttons to implement a multilingual feature in no time. Now you know everything about variants and how you can use them in your HTML bases.